Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream or video on YouTube, depending where you are checking. We are checking the last entries from IGMC2017, or the last that I will be able to check out on live streams at least. There are quite a lot of entries still, but time is limited. Let's see, this is the wrong display. I want to show the other screen, just this, yes. So we're going to check 3 games today. Journey to the East, Dear Edwin, and the Protest Vote. I will start with Dear Edwin, I believe. If I can get Grabelik on, I will try to call him. Okay, let's just try to call, see if he picks up. Ring ring. I should probably move this away. Still trying to call him. Hello?
Hey.
Garbelik, are you there?
I'm here.
Good, welcome. We are already live streaming, so be aware of that.
Alright.
Your game will be up first. I'm just gonna set it up online. Okay, we have the application here. Lazy Bomb Studio. That's a nice name.
Yeah.
Let me lower the sound a little bit. Where is it? For the mixer? Yes. Okay, so the stream on Twitch will be a little lagged. So for you, Gabelik, if you want to reply, you have to hear what I'm talking about, like what is happening on the game, and commentate on that. I don't know if you checked the other streams that we did. Usually I ask a few questions to the creators, like what was the point behind the game, or how much of it is original, and that kind of stuff. But I'll ask that as I go playing, so you can either commentate on the game itself or commentate on developing it, depending what you prefer.
Yeah, not a problem. Whatever you guys want to know.
Up to you. So let's put this full screen first. Hold on a second. Preparing stuff. Okay, should be good. Okay, so tell me, what was the idea behind the game? Did you guys do other entries with RPG Maker and for IGMC before?
A few of us did. So I'm relatively new to this. I've actually only been a part of the RPG Maker community for about 1.5 years, 2 years or so. Mostly just kind of hanging around, working on resource requests, developing my digital art skills. So, however, Plu and Hidden One, they've been around for quite some time. I think Future's done quite a bit of music for other games, but this was my first IGMC entry, and definitely our first together. So it was a different experience for me. So my first game project entirely, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Anyway.
Are you like a graphician then, like an artist?
A little bit. I've done mostly drawing, pen and ink, and charcoal, things like that for a while. So digital is new to me, and so I've been kind of experimenting, learning things here and there. But I started releasing resources to help people out, and also the resource request board was a great place to kind of practice and hone those skills. So meeting Plu and Hidden, however, was a part of a side project, a personal game that I'm working on myself, and they're sort of helping me on commissions with those, and that's kind of how we got together. And
I see.
Yeah.
So how much of this game is original, and how much was it made by you guys?
Every bit of this game we made. There's aside from the plugins, of course, which we include in the credits, and they're all wonderful. We wouldn't have been able to do it without those. But all of the artwork, all of the script, every bit of that is all original. The majority of the game tiles were made by Plu, and then there was some additional stuff done by Hidden, myself, and then Future did all the music. It's all completely original score, so there are no RTP assets anywhere in here. Okay,
looks very good so far. So congratulations on that. So did you guys start immediately when the compo was announced, or did you start only halfway?
We started right away, but we didn't begin actual work on it for some time. We set up Discord between the four of us, and we began sort of a brainstorming session to kind of work out the story, which has worked really well. So I don't think we actually began actual physical work on the project for several days while we hashed out how the story would go.
So what is the point behind the story? What was your process coming up with the storyline?
It was actually kind of funny. So we mostly wanted to start with a genre. We wanted to figure out what kind of game the four of us seem to be the most excited about, what we enjoy the most, and we all seem to settle on a steam fantasy punk kind of film noir type thing. So the intent was to take a bit of the old classic, Sherlock Holmes meets Steam meets all kinds of classic movies. So it kind of all meshes together, but it works out well, and the world itself began to kind of create itself. So as you go through, a lot of the characters, they seem to write their own story, and we've actually decided, because of how well this was received, even with the short time involved, that we will definitely be continuing this character's world on into at least one installment, if not several more. Okay.
And how complete is the game? Did you feel like it was finished, or?
It's finished in terms of story, but in terms of the interaction elements and the puzzles, the things that really make a detective game an actual detective game, we weren't quite able to get in there. We had to end up abandoning a lot of things that we wanted to do, and then there's some things in there that will feel just slightly, like they weren't quite finished. But the story itself is complete. The game is complete. You can play through completely, and there's actually several different endings depending on the way you answer some of the questions that will determine the outcome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, and we certainly have so many things that we wanted to put in there, and that will show as you go through it. But yeah, it's definitely complete. Just it needs some fleshing out.
Okay, I just hit the drunkard guy with a Dance Dance Revolution thing.
Yes. So the HCV. So that was kind of something that was a matter of contention for a while. We wanted a very in-depth battle system that we will be including in the next installment, but basically we wanted something akin to the newer Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr., where he kind of analyzes his opponent's weaknesses before he strikes, so that the skill of Edwin wouldn't necessarily be based upon some just street smarts or martial arts or anything like that, but more about his analytical mind and how he can break down each individual weakness of an opponent. Like, for example, this person is kind of favoring their left knee, so he'll go for that, and we couldn't really develop that with the time we had, so we ended up getting stuck with this, and it works, I think, for what we intended, but it almost could, from the feedback we've gotten, we could have gone without it, and it would have been just fine. So it's something we will be looking into tweaking a bit.
Okay, just wandering around town, see what's up. Woman says that it's rain. It always is. Talking to a lady, important stuff. Okay, there's a guy behind the lamp, and he says nothing.
We do have there's some of the characters that will give you some interaction. Some of it is just general kind of filler, and then some of it is kind of to help explain the backstory and the lore of the world. And then there's some characters that honestly we didn't get time to get to. So there might be some that you would go to interact with and they just don't say anything at all. And that wasn't necessarily intentional. It was just, again, it was a matter of time.
Yeah. But the city looks like very full, so that's more realistic than the usual RPGs usually make. Usually they make like a whole city, and then you only see like 10 people around, and then it's a city. It's supposed to be full with people.
It definitely is. So Plu was responsible for the majority of the map making, and she did an absolutely amazing job. The aesthetic of this, we were the ones working on it. We're still blown away by how wonderful a job she did with these tiles. So we had to kind of help complement that as best we could. So toward the end of it, once we finished the storyline and we were sure we could close out, we began to try to populate with more NPCs here and there to kind of fill it out, make it seem more like a hustle and bustle of a slum type place. So there's still more we would like to have added, but I think given for what it was, I think we managed to pull it together decently.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I keep an eye on things when the cops are too busy drinking to go on patrol. Okay, so it's the local vigilante.
Yes, you'll find the police here. They're a bit lax, as I guess is the right term. But I mean, they care about what they do. It's a different area of the city here.
Oh, there's a nut guy talking about doom that is coming. The end, you say? I suppose I should make time for tea then. Yeah, tea first, then doom.
So we, as part of what we were doing, we posted our own thread for the page. We made a little bit of a game for people playing this. So the four of us, we hid our own avatars throughout the game, and we made just kind of a fun little contest for people, like send us screenshots as you find them. Maybe we would do like a like a commission or something, is just for fun for the first person to find them. Also, there'll be four characters here that seem a bit out of place, and
was that one of them?
That may have been one of them, yes. So somebody that's got a keen eye out and is in the investigative mind might be able to track down the four avatars for the creators in the game.
Okay. Received a very cryptic letter from Nora in that regard. Let me hear, actually. Have you seen her? It's been a bit. She dodged through some time ago, looking a bit flustered and worse for wear. Wanted to see the room her father stayed in, though she refused to stay herself. Gave Warren grey hair before his time. I'd wager. Wager? Indeed, so strange of her not to stay. Perhaps she meant to keep you out of whatever trouble she's in, and likely keep a low profile in the process. See where she went by any chance? Asking around the pub about a young girl that died. Okay. I guess I'll have to find out. And check the room first.
Yeah, so a lot of this, again, because there's so many of these elements that we weren't able to add with the time we had, so we ended up having to settle for more of a visual novel, or not necessarily a visual novel, but an interactive novel, as opposed to the really hardcore investigative portion. So what we would have liked to have had are pieces where the player will actually investigate certain areas where a clue might be found, and they can later piece these clues together to kind of solve the puzzle on their own, or not. Rather, they could actually end up closing out the game without ever having figured out the correct answer. So because we weren't able to implement that, we ended up having to make this more text driven, and it can feel very, very mundane and very dry for those that are looking for more interaction. And that is one of the complaints that we found, and one of the bits of feedback we'll be taking forward. So it is one of those games, as it is, where you really have to read and follow what the characters are saying to grasp what's going on. But as I said, the next one will be fun.
Are you planning to do a final version of this one?
We've actually talked about that a little bit back and forth, and we had originally discussed going back and fleshing this out and making it a lot better and more interactive. And if the demand is there, I think we will definitely do that. In the interim, however, we found from the feedback we've received that people would rather see all of the things that they would have liked in this in a new story, a new mystery, because they didn't necessarily want to have to replay it because they already know how it ends. So they would rather see a newer mystery that has all of the implemented elements that they wanted in this.
Okay. So let's try to find the back alley kids. Maybe it's through here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Slug number 1. Well, looky what we have here, boys. Seems Mr. Fancy Pants wandered into the wrong alley. Would hate to be you right now, mister. What do you think we should do with him? I got dibs on that frilly coat. Not my frilly coat. Good day, gentlemen. I wonder if I might ask you a few questions. Hear that, boys? He's got questions. And so I said the echo is appreciated, though unnecessary. Oh, he's got an attitude, eh? He's got jokes, too. Must admit that I do not have a terribly long enough time to spend on this matter, so if we could all remain civilized, this process will flow a bit more smoothly. Piss off, Mr. Fancy. It seems like I need to make you listen. Okay, let's do Dance Dance Revolution some more. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. All three of them.
Right. Yeah,
What do you want?
It's somewhat anticlimactic, I think.
I'm looking for someone, a young girl actually. We're not into that kind of business, mister. Questions about the detective. Toss me 3 coppers. Wanted to know about a girl, handmaiden, used to work in the place, in the palace. Where is this handmaiden now? She's dead. Oh, it was, yeah, the one that we were talking about earlier. So the cops would know more, but the cops are a bit useless, so let's see. I appreciate your candor. I'll help them out, you know, they were nice. They answered my questions after I kicked their asses. Little parlay.
A bit, yes.
Is it like linear, or do you have some options at some point where you can like change the stories? You did mention that there were multiple endings, so I guess that comes into play a bit.
Yes. Right, so for example, like just now you were given a choice of whether you could help them or choose not to. And earlier when you spoke with Lot, you could have either paid for the papers or chosen not to pay for information. So those choices, there's only 2 of them. And we intended to have a couple of more options, more of a neutral thing. But the options that you choose will affect a trust gauge based upon the people of the town. And so when you come to the culmination of the story, while the story itself is linear, when you get toward the end of this, your trust of the people that you've kind of gained or lost throughout your experiences with them as you go through the game will affect whether or not the townspeople will support you when you get toward the end of this, or if you're on your own. And that will definitely affect the outcome.
Okay. Let's see if I can find the police then. There's a teenager that doesn't like to talk. There's a rat on the floor. May not look like much to you, mister, but it's home. Do you understand? Yeah, I understand. Home is where your head is. Mom says I have to wash up, so I'm hiding. Don't say nothing. Okay, this doesn't look like the police. This just looks like a back alley. Did you get any help playtesting the game?
We did actually. We actually managed to get most of them put into the credits. I think too. We had quite a decent turnout for beta and for those that wanted to participate in this. So we fielded the premise of the story to a few people we knew, and it kind of got out after that. So we actually had a strong showing of support for playtesting, and it ended up working out really well. They found quite a few bugs beforehand that we hadn't even noticed. Maybe we were a bit too close to it. And so by the time we were finished, there were so many playthroughs that we as far as we could tell anyway, knock on wood, there are no bugs. You know, we feel as though we found everything. Cool. We even asked them to try and break it. So we think that we managed to eradicate everything.
I know a combo to break it. I press Alt F4 and it stops working.
And it will destroy everything. Yeah, I think that yes, we did have some good support there, and we made sure to get their names in the credits as well.
That's really cool. So I can't go back down, so I guess the cops are not there. I guess I missed them. Maybe it's next to that guy that said that he was keeping an eye out. Let's go back up. Does shift work? No dash. So if I was a cop, where would I be hiding? Maybe this guy knows? Nope. Not here. Not that. Not the loony guy. Apothecary. Yeah. Okay, so it's like the pharmacy.
Right, and it's I'm actually was kind of surprised. There was a lot of people that have done playthroughs so far where they weren't quite sure what that was, and I think it might be just a bit of a history thing. I could probably have added in there that might have tied what that is, but But yes, that was definitely what that was at that time frame. That was where people could go to get medicines, herbs, things of that nature.
Yeah. Okay, so where the hell are the cops?
So you have the Royal Guard posted on the street, but you had a few police officers at another place that you visited earlier. And Terrence is also serves as a point of reference. So if you ever get to a point where you're kind of lost on where you're supposed to be going, Terrence can remind you, the bartender, and he can kind of fill you.
Oh yeah, there are a few cops here. Excuse
Yes.
me, gentlemen, if I could have a moment of your time. Edwin Vane himself just called us gentlemen. Off duty now, so bugger off. Non-rookie, he's not all cracked up to be. Trust me, besides Mr. Vane, he is just an ordinary citizen now, aren't you, Edwin? Nothing special. Demands attention. Your case demands our attention, does it? Well then, that does change things, and you have my deepest apologies. Why do they all sound so British?
Oh yeah, so with the setting that we went with, it just kind of ended up falling into place that most of the great stories that we drew inspiration from seemed to take place in either London or Victorian era France, and so we drew a lot of our themes and a lot of our feel, our character background from those kinds of history and those kinds of places. So it ends up kind of falling out that way. It does seem as though they would have that kind of sound.
Makes sense. Well, yeah, the Victorian age is mostly about Queen Victoria, and she is British, so I guess that makes complete sense.
And that's when I met when I would say that the story essentially wrote itself, and it kind of did as we kind of went through and progressed this way. Certain things just kind of fell into place. None of this ever really seemed awkward or strange as far as the way the story was progressing. So we pretty much let it flow as it would, and we changed very little as we progressed on it. And the four of us, like I said, we kept in touch with the Discord fairly frequently. So there was a pretty strong sense of what we were going to do each time.
That's good. Okay, so I managed to get them up and moving. If you're looking for the suspect in all that, try a mirror. Don't mind them. I haven't been down here long, but it's tough on these streets. They take it all pretty personally. I guess I understand.
Yes, and that again, that's another of those trust opportunities.
Rogard showed up and claimed jurisdiction, swept the body away before anyone could even ask a question, really. The card for suicide in the pit. I thought it was strange too, that's why I remember it so well. I had just gotten assigned here, we were so bogged down though, everybody actually seemed happy to have the help. Yeah, so you could have more time to go have drinks. One more question? Sure. Have you seen a young girl about asking similar questions? That's right, your friend is missing. Bakery. Left here in a hurry. She seemed excited. Not sure if that's who you're looking for though. Appreciate you taking the time, Julie. No problem. Oh, he's a fan, is he? I can't wait to tell my wife I actually got to meet you. Okay, that was helpful. I guess I should try to find the bakery. There's a bakery in the square. That guy sees everything. Okay. Thought I was in the square. Oh, housewife. You wait your turn like everybody else. You certainly don't look like you need it anyways. Besides, we were here first. Is this like for selling bread? Stuff it, Edna. You've only got one at home. I have 4 little mouths waiting on this. Little kid will help me. It's loaf day, sir. They always get like this on loaf day. Ah, the loaves are on sale.
Yes.
I can buy loaves of breads for everyone and get the whole town on my side.
That's a clever strategy.
So have you checked other games from the IGMC? Do you have any favorites?
I do, actually. I've been trying to play as much as I can. I participated in the Secret Santa thread. I got a few games that way, and then there was a few personal favorites I really wanted to check out. There's still a few more I have yet to play. I'm just trying to find the time, but so far, just for the general story, I really like Legend of Prody. I think that was a Chalk Dust submission.
I don't think I tried that one yet.
Clever.
Okay,
it's a lot of fun. It can be kind of slow at first, but that's kind of the idea. I think is that each character was meant to have its own speed based on what it was, but it's definitely worth exploring. And a few others I really liked and made some comments on. But all in all, there was quite a bit of talent that turned out for this event. I'm really excited that such an event was available for the community. It kind of helped breathe some life back into this and put some attention back on what RPG Maker is doing. So
yeah, definitely.
I was really excited to see this.
And I noticed that a lot of people came just from the sale from Humble Bundle, so they're completely new to RPG Maker, which I guess is good for the community of RPG Maker itself to have more fresh blood checking out what's happening and being able to create teams and help out and that kind of stuff.
Oh, certainly. I was excited. I really like seeing the introductions form and how often that is populated with new posts and new people coming in and checking it out. And what's surprising, honestly, is it's an entire spectrum of ages that come on here. Sometimes it's young children. Sometimes it's much older people that are just kind of, I guess, nostalgic for a different time in gaming. So I really like kind of seeing how it all comes together and how you can have such a diverse group all coming together in the same passion for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. The old people really want to, make the RPG like they used to play. It was one of the things that drove me to try out the RPG Maker. I always wanted to make an RPG, and I was always like, yeah, it's too much hassle. I need to get an artist. I need to do the music, code the engine, blah, blah, blah. So much stuff. I just want to focus on the storyline. And then RPG Maker always seemed so expensive. Like, I'm not going to throw 50 euros and then never use it, But this opportunity felt a lot more affordable and okay, I use €1, I check out the engine, if it's good I make something interesting out of it, if it's crap, it's €1, who cares? So it felt a lot more realistic or attractive, let's call it that.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually introduced to RPG Maker through a longtime friend of mine. And it's funny, he got me interested in it, and then I was completely addicted, and now he's off to other things, so he kind of left me alone with it. But it's actually worked out quite well. I've really enjoyed it a lot, and I guess as every game dev does, I do hope to actually pursue something of a career with it someday. But that's one of those one leg at a time kind of deals.
Yeah. So are you working on a game that you want to see commercialized?
I actually am, yes. As earlier I was referencing how I met Plu and Hidden was through their help with commissions for a project I'm working on. I'm trying to create something new, something different, both aesthetically, both gameplay-wise, and yet pays homage to the old games like Suikoden. I was a huge fan of that game and that series, and I want to bring some of those elements back. So I've actually gone the route of trying to take on the world here and do much of this myself. Very quickly realized that was not going to happen.
Yeah, that's always the trouble. But it's good when you have small teams. You can do a lot of stuff, but at the same time you always keep needing special talents that are not particularly easy to come by. So you need specific music and that kind of thing that can be hard to find sometimes.
It certainly can. The thing I found the most was that finding good artists and good people to work together. That's the difficult part. There is so much talent out there, but sadly, quite a bit of the talent that's out there is difficult to work with, unfortunately. And they have, or they're just so good at what they do that even if they're wonderful to work with, they're so busy that it's difficult for them to find time to focus on you as an individual client. So it does help that I understand that world, and I work in that myself. But the project we're working on now is while it is intended for commercial, I think it's going to take some time to develop. In fact, the nutcase guy that was standing outside of the bar there, he's actually referencing events from that project. So it'll be kind of an Easter egg when it comes out.
Okay, I need to find a man cover that is a bit open or rusty. Let's see, maybe to the left. Let's see. There's a here we go. Oh, look at this. And now I have access to the sewer. What an interesting smell we've discovered. Oh, there's a bunk. Poor girl. I've gotten by just fine, thank you very much. Nora, thank heavens you're alive and safe. I see you're still cross with me then. I had thought with your letter that we might go to you because I couldn't think of anyone else. I simply didn't wish to see you. Oh, Nora. Let's go back to the owl. Your father's death was no accident. I remember how this works, ready? Nora, you know how I despise that nickname. Yes, I know. The day of the crash, my father was agitated. He had just come home from the pit. He was in a bit of a hurry. He hardly took a moment to say hello, which was very unlike him. When I asked him what was on his mind, he just mumbled to himself and continued moving about the house. What was he doing? Packing, but not his luggage. Father had come for his guns. Okay. So he was going to shoot someone, or needed to defend himself. And he just left. Mumbled something about needing to see the Queen. It was a matter of national security. Keep the book safe. And do you have the book with you? Should have been there to help him. Oh, I'm sorry, Nora.
This was actually one of the portions of the game that I think people had the most issue with, as far as the ones that are not big fans of reading. Much of what Warren was up to, and much of what you'll be doing after this, is kind of explained here with Warren's case notes. So it can be a bit of a read, but I think it definitely is necessary.
It brings, like, I've mostly been skipping the text previously, but this was the part that I actually paid more attention to because it felt like it was important part of the plot.
It is, yes, and again, this was one of those things that we would like to have done differently. We would have preferred some of this be explored by the player. For example, like instead of Edwin reading from the book, the player can maybe open it themselves and read it as a reference point as they need to. Same with the newspaper or things like that. That it'd be part of a menu item that you could pull up as a clue or something.
Yeah, it would be nice if the world would be more interactable. It seems like, yeah, it's more story-based and talking with people and not so much exploring the world itself.
Right, and that is always the crutch I see. But we do definitely hope to remedy that. I even, I'm a big fan myself of clicking on everything. I would always love the fact that you could find money in a random pot.
Yeah.
Like who likes their money in pot? But and we didn't get to do the side missions that we wanted to do, and some of the games and the puzzles and things. So it does end up being feeling rather empty. As far as the story goes, you can feel as though, okay, well, it wasn't a bad story, but it wasn't necessarily a game either. So that's been the feedback we've gotten, and we even felt the same, and we knew kind of before release how it was going to be. But
I think it's fine. I mean, there are a lot of games that are just called, visual novels or interactive storytelling, and it's mostly about the story. There are very few game elements there. But the idea is to be immersive into the story, so I think people have come to accept those kind of games for what they are.
Yeah, we have found that, and a lot of what we've seen, both through commentary, through messages, and even through playthroughs such as yours now, is for the most part, people liked the story. They enjoyed it, and even the ones that don't really necessarily get into this kind of thing were happy with the way we put it together, and so. The general consensus seemed to have been that if we could just add more of those interactive elements and maybe cut back on the text a bit and explain the story more environmentally, then people would have been so much happier with the game. And in fact, would have been happy to have it as a commercial release. So when we add this in, I think with the new storyline, it will be far different. And in fact, we're looking to put out a demo first so that we can get some feedback, see what people think. And if it works for what they want, because we don't want to lose too many of the elements of this game that people really enjoyed, but at the same time we need to add in what people felt was lacking.
Yeah, I mean, you could polish it up a little bit and make it maybe like a part 1. Is the next game that you have in line like would work as a part 2 of this, or is just the same character, same world but different in terms of storyline?
Same character. We'll have the same character, same world. However, what we opted to do is we're actually going to be making a prequel to this, which is basically, is a little bit of a spoiler though. Edwin is fresh from academy, and it is his first case with Warren as his partner. So it'll be kind of a throwback, maybe roughly 10 years or so prior to the events of this story that you'll get to play through, where Edwin is first kind of discovering what the Inquisition is about. Getting his legs, as it were, as an investigator. So it's a lot more fun and a new way to take it. So, but we'll definitely have a few of the references in there. So people that really enjoyed this story will be able to see how they progressed from one to another. But in time, though, I guess it just depends on how well that's received. We may continue this for quite some time in many different pieces. So.
Okay. Got the letter out as soon as I could, and I've been keeping tabs on the movement of the guard. They all seem to answer to a man called Gerhardt. He's the captain of the Royal Guard. Your father and I came to know him quite well, as it was typically he who would oversee assignments handed down to the Inquisition. Plot thickens.
It does indeed.
Wanted so badly to make him proud. He was, child, I can assure you he was. Anyway, that was a very long time ago and the Queen got better. What would that have to do with this case? Valid question. Queen's chloroform. Conspiracy. Okay, let's go to the apothecary.
I think what we found to be a lot of fun about this one too is, aside from having such short time, which was great because it while it does limit what we can put into the project, it actually really pushed us to drive the story a lot sooner and put together all this so much faster. So what was intended to be just characters for the sake of segue and for kind of helping to push the story they sort of developed into a personality of their own. Gerhardt, for example, is, he has a very glaring personality that will show. I mean, Terrence was meant to be just a filler character at the bar, but he ended up developing a personality of his own. And so the world that we've now kind of created, which will kind of help to fill the prequel and any additional games, was all built from this. And much of these characters, they, like I said before, they kind of developed themselves. So it's kind of a neat experience to see how this all works with 4 different minds from different perspectives, different places and experience, kind of coming together to make one story that just flowed easily.
How was your process doing the story? Was it like everyone was writing, or did you separate tasks and who was writing what?
So what we did is we got the Discord and we all just kind of started throwing ideas out there, and it was very much in the beginning just throw things out, see what sticks, and then we can go from there. And if we came across a topic or a particular subject that we all thought was wonderful, then we would just explore that and dig into it until there was nothing further to explore, and then we could find other ways to tie it in. And sometimes it was as simple as, hey, I was at the bar tonight and I saw this thing and it reminded me of this, and I thought maybe we could add that. And people will kind of toss that back and forth until we all agreed on something. And then after that, once we all kind of had a basic idea of how the story would go, it was then that we divvied out whose responsibility would be what. So Plu, she was very much the driver of this, and I have to say her organizational skills far exceed my own. And without her, we might have been a bit lost. But yeah, she kind of designated, like, based upon talents, who should handle what. And so she handled the majority of the artwork from a pixel perspective, and then I would complement that with things like the train or the carriage using that same tile set so that we can keep it in the same style. And then Hidden's talents, of course, the sprite behaviors, and she really nailed that, made it work. Future's music, and then that left the writing still open. And I hadn't written in some time, but I was a novelist a few years back, so I thought I'd give it a try again. But it had some rocky moments, and there were a few times where I got a bit wordy, but they helped to keep me in check, as it were. So we would.
It helps to get like people who proofread it immediately after you writing it, because if you're doing something that feels out of place, they will point it out for you. So in that sense, it's a lot better when you are writing and have someone immediately reads, instead of just writing for yourself and putting it away and then having to look yourself at it at a later time.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's exactly where we did it. We set up a Google Drive and a Google Documents site where we can kind of have a share platform, and all of us had access to those at any given time. So as I would complete a portion of the script, a scene or two or whatever have you, I would go ahead and share that with them and let them know, hey, this is completed, let's run through it and see what you think. And so the script kind of came together just a piece at a time. And so since we already had the background of the story all together ahead of time, it was just a matter of fleshing it out. And so everybody had a turn at kind of picking into that. And we did the same thing with every aspect, though even though one person was kind of driving it, if I was doing the script or Plu was doing the maps, we would still submit each and every piece for the review of the others, so that we could all agree on every aspect of this before it went forward.
Queen Sentinel illness, okay. Maybe getting quite close, Nora. Thank you for your time, sir. I do hope you enjoyed the day's festivities. Okay, there was another place that I had to go. I think I have to ask the bartender. Weren't you saying you had a few places to check out? That door in Warren's notes, the girl's apartment, and an apothecary. Phew, the door. Where the hell is the door?
So, and I think Warren will only reference the items that you need to get, so he may not tell you exactly where to go, which is something that we definitely should have caught.
Yeah.
But I think, if I recall, the other two clues, so you've hit the apothecary already. There should only be one balcony in the district. And then the door, I think, is in a similar area.
Let's see. Oh, I'm just hitting all the doors, see if I can get anything.
And that was definitely another point of contention. Is some doors you can interact with, some you could not. Some were aligned with the character, some were offset, and it kind of threw people off a bit. So, and again, like everything else, it just came down to time. And we would have liked to have had every door interactable, and we did include a knocking sound at least, so you get the illusion that you're doing something, which can actually be more frustrating, I guess. But but it worked for a few of them. So a few of the doors do have some responses, just not very many of them.
One blue and one brown, don't see that every day. Heterochromia, less than 1% chance in the entire world. Investigating apparent suicide in this district took place some time ago. Not know nothing about that, sorry. And made him to the queen. Come inside then. Alright. There was something familiar about this case to you, madam? Cassandra. She's looking for the governor in the Doyle district now. Has herself a mighty fine room in his estate. He's away on business at the moment. Okay. So either this is the son to the queen, or this is a deeper conspiracy. Sorry for being rude before, you can't be too careful these days, Bye, Sebastian. Bye. I learned everything I needed to learn there. It's all starting to make sense. Okay, so there is one more place that I need to visit, which should be around here somewhere. What's this?
Yeah, so if you've got the apothecary and the boy, then it should just be the balcony where the girl fell.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here. Step aside. Oh, she's a burglar.
She has quite a few skills.
Thinking something was left behind that might tell us what happened here? Precisely. It has been some time, of course. The rain has surely been of no help. Nevertheless, search carefully. There may yet be something young Clarice can tell us of her final moments.
Now this was a really strong and glaring aspect of our lack of clue interaction that we really wanted to incorporate here. So this entire portion right here is very text driven, and this would have been a great opportunity for the player to actually explore the area themselves and find things and kind of piece together how it is that it looks this way or what it means necessarily. So this one's been pointed out many times. It's one we actually caught as well, that we would have loved to have had something a little different here, but hopefully we'll be able to make that a little bit better and a lot more fun in future installments.
There are some very deep scratches with the fresher fibers of the wood exposed. Very peculiar, wouldn't you say? Fingernails, okay. That's when she was pushed. She tried to hang on.
Yes. Or so the evidence would seem to point that way.
She might have had like a sudden regret that she was killing herself and tried desperately to hang on.
Perhaps.
I think we have collected everything we can. We should return to the owl to plan our next step. I'm still missing something, I think. Something important. I need some time to put things together. Okay, with that, after the day I've had, I could use a drink. Okay, let's go for a drink. Walk me through the clues again. Well, we found a fancy button on the balcony, and it looks like there had been a struggle with the scratch marks, stains, and all that. Maybe it's that guy, Blatistan, I don't remember his name anymore. The bad guy with the scratch mark, stains. implies young Clarice's death was no suicide, and she was likely killed by somebody of stature. Yeah, bloodless guy that I don't remember the name for. True, but it is only conjecture on the part of the button at this point that could have ended up there through some other means. That's true. What else do we have? My father's notes described an apartment tour where we found a woman living with her son. Her sister had been another of Queen's handmaidens. I doubt that's a coincidence. Unlikely, but the sister seems to have left town. There is that other matter. What else? The apothecary delivered some chloroform to the palace several years ago. During the time of the Queen's illness, the messenger who paid for it claimed it was due to an insect attack, but he said there were no insects in the palace then. That leads to the question of the substance use, the need for the ruse. I feel as though we are right on the cusp, but something still eludes me. Warren, you clever bastard. The Queen is due to arrive soon on these very streets, and I believe we'll meet her envoy. Something to discuss, she and I, the Queen. Edwin, I don't understand. Okay. Yeah, Sebastian. I think Sebastian is her kid, and they were like making sure that no one knows that it's her kid. And maybe the handmaid wanted to tell someone or something like that, so the other guy had her killed.
It may very well be. And in fact, this point here, where they're about to meet in the square, this is the portion of the game that would actually play out differently depending upon how the player chose to act toward the townspeople throughout the rest of the story. So depending on how your trust level sits right now, that variable will determine how this particular scene will go.
Remove yourself from the street or be taken into custody and charged with obstructing a royal transport. Gerhard, that's the name of the guy. You are already on my list, Mr. Vane, and we have business we will attend to shortly. For now, however, you are in the way. I'm afraid I must insist on a bit of a chat. Surely you will want to hear what I have to say. Captain, what is going on? Why have we stopped? It is nothing, Your Majesty. Local riffraff. Doesn't sound like nothing. Sounds like... It's Edwin Vane! Oh, my dear boy, whatever are you doing here? Good evening, Your Majesty. I know it has been some time, and for that I am sorry. I have had quite a lot on my mind as of late. Have you considered voice acting?
As far as for the game?
Yeah.
We actually had. We'd thought about that, and it would have been something we would have loved to have had. If we'd had more time, we would have certainly incorporated that.
It's a lot of text, though, so it would have to be a lot of...
Yeah. Right, and what we've also found is that if we didn't do the voice acting, something as simple as character bus has been suggested to kind of help break up the monotony a little bit. But voice acting, if we could find the right people, would be superb. And you know, that would really go well, especially with the behaviors we were able to put in. I mean, Hidden did a wonderful job, I think, with the way that the characters move here, especially in this scene. And it really kind of helps carry the emotion, I think, of what's about to come through.
Part of a cover-up that reaches high into the lofts of your very court. Warren met a similar fate as your young handmaiden Clarice, and for reasons I will get to in a moment. I believe all of this, however, might be better explained by the good captain. That will be quite enough of this. Guards, arrest this man. Stay where you are, Captain. Let him speak. What are you accusing him of exactly, Edwin? Murder, Your Majesty, murder. Oh, the drama. Perhaps something even more sinister, if one could imagine. Came here at the behest of Warren's daughter, Nora. She knew her father's death seemed strange, but didn't know how to prove it. I believe that I can. This is all preposterous. I have never done anything but serve this crown with the utmost of devotion. Choose your words carefully, Mr. Vane. Baseless accusations such as these are treasonous and will not be regarded lightly. Allow me to paint a picture for you, Captain, to help restore your memory. Please stop me at any point if I leave anything out. Nora, if you could please step forward. Nora comes here investigating her father's death. She learns of a handmaiden whose apparent suicide seemed a bit more than the surface. Revealed, the royal guard appear soon after, and in numbers and activity strange for this district. They seem intent on silencing her questions, and Nora is driven into hiding. She writes to me to help. for help, and here I stand. This explains nothing. My dear Captain, I am only just getting warmed up. Upon investigating the flat where Clarice had been staying, we found several small patterns of blood in the doorway and on the balcony, indicating that Clarice had been injured just before she went over. There were also tiny scratches in the railing near the edge, akin to fingernail marks, actually. What do you suppose this might imply, Captain? There had been a struggle. Oh, my poor sweet girl. There had indeed been a struggle, Your Highness, and one in which Clarice managed to tear away an invaluable clue from her attacker's clothes. This, a button? However, you might be so kind, Captain. Your left arm, please. I will not participate in this nonsense. Your arm, Captain, now. Oh, it's missing a button. What a coincidence.
Yes, and at this point, a lot of people have kind of pointed out that the story was rather easy to piece together as they went. So we're going to make the mystery a bit more difficult to solve the next time around.
I mean, he could have just gotten another jacket or gotten another button.
True, if he noticed it was missing, sure.
Remember too, don't you, Captain? You were there after all. You did say, Captain, that this was your second visit to the Hall, did you not? The prince, but he... Forgive me, my queen, I meant your other child. Da-da-da-dang! I don't understand. He lives, your majesty! But I can't. They told me, Captain! He told you your baby did not survive the birth, Elena. We sent it away and threatened everyone involved never to speak a word about it to you or to anyone else. This time you know, and time you were united with your son, who has 2 eyes of different color. Clarice was murdered for this, and Warren all to keep it secret. My queen, God, seize the captain, take him from my sight. Oh, he has a weapon.
He does.
More than 5 generations my family has served this kingdom, upholding the law and cleaning up your messes. This child would have been a scandal. Why? Because he has 2 eyes? 2 colors?
This was an aspect we didn't actually get to delve in very much. The intention had been that the queen actually had this child out of wedlock. The king has passed for some time, right? And that was one that I'd missed on getting into the story. But this child is not of the king and the queen.
He's like a bastard.
He is indeed.
Oh, but we shot him first. There should be like a Dance Dance Revolution game here for you to kill the guy.
Yes, I think that would have kind of given some purpose more to that aspect of the gameplay. So we did. I think we did have one comment that was similar to that as well.
I can't believe that all just happened. I thank you, officers, for your assistance. Still don't like you, Edwin, but that dirtbag had to go. Blah blah blah. This one is repeating a little bit more what just was already said before this part.
Mostly, yeah, and it was intended to mostly capture the portion about the heterochromia. Well, like you said before, with the child that has the 2 different colored eyes. Earlier, when Edwin has that moment in the bar where he's pacing back and forth, he looks at the portrait of Queen Elena, and the player noticed that she also has 2 different colored eyes.
That wasn't very clear, or I didn't pay proper attention.
And I think it was on our side. Yeah, we could have maybe made that a little clearer too. But that was something that, again, if we'd had the interaction available to where a player could go back and reference what it is that Edwin saw, like the Queen's portrait, they can go back and pull it back up and make an actual up-close inspection and realize, okay, she also has this. Then it might have made a little more sense and been able to carry a little more strongly.
Okay, the end. Story by Fruchtschamp, Gavrolik, Hirinoan, and Plushkatze. And
that is, yeah, that is the I guess you could call it the good ending, I suppose, where if you chose all of the kind responses, if you help people where you could help them, and
so
were nice.
What would happen if you hadn't, like, I don't know, paid for the newspaper or not agreed with the cop?
So, well, I would say that it's definitely worth another playthrough to check it out, but so many of the aspects would be exactly the same. So I could suffice it to say that if you were a bit of, well, an ass, I guess, for lack of a better term, then Edwin would have received no support whatsoever from anyone, either the police or from any of the townspeople either. So while I don't want to give away exactly what happens for those that still haven't played yet and would like to go that route, I can definitely say that without the support of the police, things do go a bit differently.
Maybe he got shot himself. Okay. What about the thugs? Would they help you out?
So what we ended up having to do is for the final scene, we only had the two options, and the thugs, they didn't get to be involved with it as much as we would have liked, and same with the baker and Lot even. I think the only thing that changes differently, or that is different with the other ending, is that they actually visibly walk away from Edwin. They shun him, so to speak, and turn their backs to him as he's in his big, finale moment.
Okay. All right. So thank you for the game. It was pretty good. So congratulations.
Thank you. I think we enjoyed making it, and while there are certainly some things we would have liked to incorporate, I think for the time we had and for what it was, everybody had a really great time. If nothing else, we learned a whole lot about this process, about how the engine can work really well to help you create what you want to create, and how you don't necessarily have to use the fallback resources. You can put almost anything in here. It is quite a versatile engine, and I think it's a great program for anybody, whether they're starting out or even if they have a good deal of experience already. So I'm certainly looking forward to using it for quite some time in the future. And our next project will also be with RPG Maker MV. So hopefully it will be just as well received.
You used MV. I heard some people complaining that they have frame rate issues with MV. Did you notice anything about that?
I did not personally, but I do understand that everybody has different equipment, different computers and things, and so I can see how that might be an issue. I couldn't replicate it personally, but then again, I only have the one computer, and I'm not really sure how I would go about it. But we have heard that, and it is something that if we can make that work, we would like to try to find a way around that. And then I think another question was about a Mac conversion, which we may do as well too, so people that utilize that can do so. I think it's just a matter of having one so that we can upload it that way.
Your game played well in terms of frame rate here on this machine, but I had other games that were made with MV that were like ended up getting sluggish and slow by the time you reach the end of the game. So it's weird. But some people also mentioned that it depends on how you pack your assets, that if you include like 2 megabyte PNGs, that then it will that's what caused the frame rate to be slow.
And I think I can see how that would be. We actually tried to minimize most of what we worked with. We didn't include anything at all that wasn't necessary, and we tried to use the smallest file sizes and the most optimal resolution for everything. And so I think for what we did, it ended up working out well, but I can definitely see how some games or people that are not necessarily noticing that portion of it, or just it doesn't occur to them maybe that can actually cause some issues. So if nothing else, I've always recommended just play through, and if you're noticing issues on your own, then it's certainly something worth going back and reviewing.
Yeah, try to figure them out. Okay, well, thank you for joining. Thank you for making the game. We will check out a couple other games, so I will hang up on you now. But thank you so much for joining the stream.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. My pleasure. So bye. Take care.
Take care.
Okay, so that was Dear Edwin. We have 2 more games that we want to check out today. Journey to the East and the Protest Vote. I was hoping Anakrina would be around, but he seems to be offline, so I guess I will start with the Protest Vote. I will close Dear Edwin first, and I will try to open the Protest Vote, which was made apparently as a protest to the creators, and this is actually the extractor. Just a second. Okay, is this the executable? Yes, protest vote. Okay, should be able to hear it. Let me lower the volume a little bit. Okay, and put it on screen. That will be useful as well. There we go, the protest vote. So from what I read, this was more of a protest to how IGMC runs the compo. People who participated on previous years didn't really like some things, from what I read. And so they make this game called the protest vote, and their call for people to vote on this if they agree with the things that they are talking about. I never participated on IGMC before, so I have no qualms with the organization whatsoever, but I'm curious to check the game, if it's actually any good or not. Are you a judge for the indie game maker blah blah blah, or part of the staff volunteers that are running it? No, I am not. Okay, are you telling the truth, right? Lying is morally wrong, so don't do it. Yeah, spelling wrongly is morally wrong as well, and you are doing it, so I'm really not a judge. Nope, I'm telling the truth. Alright, let's start the real game. There we go. I am a girl. I'm so angry at all the horrendous actions that the Dageshi Corporation has done. Note from a Balloon Co. Gaming Division lawyer, Dageshi is not a misspelling, it is simply a parody. This way we can't be sued. According to our law degrees, we totally might or might not have. That's smart. Ooh, let's do something to revolutionize the game industry. Spawn a fairy. There is something you can do. Who are you? I'm Rebellious Inspiration. I was born the day Balloon Co. Gaming Division decided to fight on behalf of the poor game developers ruled over by Dageshi. All it takes is one game to start a movement. But how can one game do anything? They have so much money and influence and drugs. Every great artistic movement in history started due to artists rebelling against what was popular, esteemed, and what the ruling class said was true art. So to start a movement, all you have to do is make a game that is everything they don't want it to be. A game that breaks all the rules. But who will see my art? Won't I get banned? No. You can still submit your stuff like on itch.io without caring about the compo, so this is a non-issue, but whatever, let's roll with it. If you get banned for breaking the rules, you'll be an artistic martyr and people will flock to support you. So that's why people are submitting entries with bugs, like not being able to run out of the box. Now everything makes sense. They check this game before submitting their entry. What if they don't ban me? What if they fear my power? There's no way I can win the contest. There's still the People's Choice Award. You don't need the support of a corporation when you have ordinary people on your side. Hooray! You do realize there are voting bots and people on China who click vote for you. You pay them like 5 euros and they give you 500 clicks. You realize that, right? Also there's 4chan. You could just go there and say, let's hack this, and they will do it. If there's a chance, I'm willing to take. Let's go make that game. Okay, let me talk with the character. Hey, I'm trying to make a game that brings revolution through breaking the contest rules. Can you help? I'm a Dageshi fanboy, and thus I will defend their every decision, no matter what. There's no way I will help you break a single rule. Okay, well that was counterproductive. But they are just using their money to restrict what is or isn't considered art or good. Isn't that an issue? Don't you want more art rather than elitism? I love Dageshi, therefore I will take everything negative anyone says about them as a slight against me. Okay, so you're a stupid fanboy. Fanboy may be a problem later, but there's nothing we can do about it. Shame how he blindly defends a corporation even against his own freedom. Yeah, it is what it is. Gamers, you know. Balloon Co. is awesome. What about this girl? Will I help? I'm the popular vote. You can't win the People's Choice Award without me. However, I don't really care about your beef with Degesi. But will you at least consider a game once we make it? I mean, sure, I have to consider all of the games. Probably no, you don't have widespread social network video making streaming following, so I will barely notice you. That's true. If you have the Indian or Chinese clicking guys, it's a lot more useful. So I bet she's in bed with them, with all 500 of them. Rebelling against a corporation is kinda niche. Maybe a contest maybe a contest isn't the thing for you. I really wish Balloon Corp would know how to type or proofread. I will not hide and rant. I'm taking the fight right to the capitalist head. Okay, you go, girl. Let's check the blob monster. Only people with a completed game may go beyond this point and present it to the Legacy Corporation. Okay, let's try to find more help. I can dash, which is always useful. Oh, I can go to the guy who's locked behind bars. I can't access him. Okay, what about up here? Woman here. Can you help? I love to help. I'm open source. My only desire is for people to find ways of making my art useful. Take anything you like. Whoa, awesome. And it's public domain. How will we use the assets without permission if we are explicitly given full permission? Yeah, that was one of the issues they were complaining, that on previous entries they got stuff that was in public domain or open source. They changed it a little bit and they used it in their game, and they were claimed by Legacy that they ripped graphics from other places without crediting them. But I mean, this is quite easy to fix. On the credits, you just have to say that some assets are from random places on the internet under public domain, and none of them are ripped from any sources. It's hard to get open source to bend their rules. This is a hard one. How can I piss off open source? Not crediting you? Well, claiming it's our own art, it's plagiarium, it's fraud. So we can make lots of money out of if it's public domain, you're free to do that. So I think the proper answer would be just to make lots of money off it. All of them are bad though. You really thought that was going to work? Aw, come on. Okay, I guess we'll claim it's our own art. Oh, so I have... Huh? Ah, okay. Creative Uncommon license. It allows anyone to use my stuff except you two. That's great. Well, I do like the concept of the game. Let's see what the blob tells us. Why is it a downer in J4K? Custom sprite, I'm so jealous. I'm pretty jelly myself. We're on a mission from Balloon Code to take down the evil Dagashi Corporation by breaking all their contest rules and starting a revolution. Oh my, how exciting. I know just the rule-breaking item to help you. Seems to be saying that no matter what we do, we can't win. Well, yeah. It's a bit like that. But I mean, you should be entering to make something interesting, not aiming to win. At least that's my point of view on it. But I'm sure some people would like to win if they, you know, invested so much time into it. They would like to get something out of it, get some recognition. But I would, if I know my game isn't as polished enough to be on the top 20 list, but that would be like my aim if I had made a really cool game that I was really proud of, polished and everything like that, to be on those top 20 lists of the final games that might get the prize. That would be my main aim. But I know my game isn't polished as much as it could be. Checking other entries, I see other entries that people invested a lot more time in it than I have in mine, so I will show those corporate prudes. Oh, he's naked. Ah, nudity. We can't have nudity. Okay, we have two rule-breaking items now. Let's find a few more here. Oh, it's a broken temple. What's this? Prepare this for you. It's the Drop and Stir game engine. Just drop in what you need to make a game and it does the coding for you. That's perfect. That breaks the rule that you have to use an official Dagashi game engine to enter the contest. Well, yeah, they want you to use RPG Maker, that's true. Default language to not be English, to start making the game before today. 18 plus content. Game making aren't allowed. That's it. What, I'm missing one? Oh, what am I missing? So will also support me later. Maybe it's the guy behind the bars. Hello, sir. Can I talk with you? Maybe this is a passage? Yes, okay. Hello, can you help me? Well, that seems like a worthy cause to me, especially when they put me in jail. Oh, he's a pirate. Arr. He borrows DLC assets. It's a Rossetti stone. Localize your game in another language. Save point. Awesome. Okay, now we should have all the ingredients required to make the game. Let's go. Let's conjure the game. There we go. Our game, the Yes People, Tale of the Red Mold Handsome Duty is complete. Okay, let's try to submit it. I can only submit 2 games, so I have to create more. We'll submit the same game 3 times. Here comes the fanboy. This is great. Special. Let's use the creative uncommon. And you can use the loot photo on the fanboy. Bunch of confused lawyers around you. Your opponent of fanboy's defense is down. What about time warp? Everyone recovered motivation. Unmoderated devotion. Let's just do normal attacks. I need to do special, maybe reset these delicious talking powers, international WoW bolt style. The power of art compels you. Let's try that, and you can attack. Hey, 263 damage. Attack, or the other one, it's time warp. Come on. Come on, die fanboy, die! Why are fanboys so resilient? I'm a game creator, I should kill you fanboys easily. Ooh, getting my ass kicked. Gimme's yes, yes. My defense and luck went up. Okay, good. What was the one that... I think it's this one that heals up? No, okay, he's dead. Game Creators Party was victorious. I got some experience and some gold. They are so cool, they don't need my help. Smell you later, contest loser. He forgot to do his own work. No funny business. Sure. Oh, it's like the goddess monster. Welcome to the indie game contest submission. We at Tageshi are excited to use our money prize to decide which game is art of high quality. Of course, scoop first publishing rights, so you wouldn't want your quality game to, by some chance, make money without our help and our cut of profits. Of course, after that, after all, what people like is not always profitable. It's easy vote, but harder to buy. Okay. This won't do. We have some harsh criticisms of this sad excuse of an electronic product. Here comes Tageshi. I guess I should do... This one was increasing my quality. And... Okay, yeah, that worked. I became blind. Let's just attack. Ah, I'm blind, so I can't. Oh, but that one. Oh, I died! Holy crap. I guess he's gonna win. Do I have items to resurrect him? No. Special, maybe time warp will fix. No, he's still dead. Fuck. Holy shit, I'm gonna die. Holy shit. Ouch. I'm blind. So this. Ow. Nobody's leaving comments on your game. If nobody cares about your game, why should I? I care, and I matter, and if I like my game, maybe others might too? Maybe? The pirate. Computer skills to set up a bot network to tell the world about this little game. That's true, there were no rules against botnet. Now we have the power of the pirate. Let's try this. And let's try... Oh, bot promotion. Let's try. I should probably do time warp before I die though. And this one will do bot attack ads. Ouch. It's fine. Can we just do normal attacks? He took no damage. Loot photo that did damage. Which one was it? Oh. Okay. Pathetic game that's just asking to get banned. I'm not doing this for attention, I'm doing it for the people, for art, for revolution. How can I be playing this game if it's not supposed to be on English, the main language? Forgot that I can have the right to penalize or disqualify a submission not limited to the rules. Yeah, beyond the rules. I can do it for whatever I like. Like, I don't like you. You wouldn't dare. Oh, but he dares. Just don't like your game. It's not good enough to be on our top 20. Banning your game for no reason. Nihilism overwhelms you. The last words. I regret nothing. What? Who said that? Oh, it's the popular vote. Censorship. And censorship is always wrong, because free speech is always good. Unless it's the Nazis doing it, then it's wrong again. In the name of free speech and open source. Let revolution revolutionize. Can I heal? How do I heal? Is it time warp? Okay, the pirate will do bot attack ads, I guess. Will of the people. Hey, 9,000 damage. Dageshi is slain. Game creators party was victorious, 1000 experience received. Pirate is now level 6. How could this game cause so many of our fans to betray us? If we don't do something quick, we'll lose money. The horror. How can they lose money? They don't lose money from people being disgruntled with the competition. Congratulations! It ended up winning the People's Choice Award. Gabriel's inspiration, don't go. We need you. I need you. We'll always be with you, with all of you. Rebellious inspiration is forever in our hearts. Thank you for playing a small part in the gaming revolution by playing this game. You are more powerful than any corporation that is in Balloon Co. gaming division, but you are more powerful than any of the other Balloon Co. divisions, especially marketing division. You are so much cooler than them. Yeah, I hate marketing. This full and complete game has been produced by Balloon Co. Gaming division. PG Maker engines as well as the hard music blah 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 were made by Enterbrain Incorporated and published by Dejika. Except for the Red Cherry, we made that sprite. Okay. Yeah, the game is funny, and I can understand the protest. I don't agree with some of it. I think it's a bit disproportionate in some parts, but yeah, it was a good idea that they made a game about it instead of just whining and bitching. So at least people got to hear about it. And that was it for the protest vote. That was quite good. I liked it. It was quite fun. We had one more game to play. I would like Enakrima to be around, but he doesn't seem to be around, even though I pinged him some 7 hours ago, warning him that I was going to do the stream. He said he was going to be around, and now he's not. So I guess I will just play the game, even though he's not around. And Journey to the East. Let me open it. And this will probably be the last game that we go through. Let me lower the volume a little bit, make sure that it shows up on OBS, which it doesn't seem to be showing up. Journey to the East, here we go. A bit smaller. It's too big. Okay, now it fits. Updates available for some Q plugins. Okay, that's good. I don't care. New game. Bam. Can you remove this line from here? Oh, it shows all the stuff that's... Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Long time ago in a faraway land, humans ruled the world. Wasn't it monkeys that ruled the world? Futile creatures, they were driven by evil feelings such as kindness, selflessness, and trust. But the time of the great Son Wukong came, and the era of the monkeys begun. We showed no kindness, selflessness, nor trust. On this rule, his kingdom was born. When a demon emerged, born from earth and sky, stumbling on a rock, hit by thunder, a young priestess lost the way of the monkey and embraced the good. Okay. Loving friendly spread corruption upon the land with wicked habits until they long dead. Until then long dead. Okay. Yeah, kindness is a bitch. He summoned a hero to guide the demon through a purification journey. The good and the right were purged from it thanks to the great and glorious try. No. No, 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 no. I said no, damn it. Your pilgrimage is out of question, especially with a dead weight such as that. Hello, beautiful squirrel. Here's a flower for you. Even the most beautiful of flowers, blah blah, awkward. And you, stop writing your high fantasy epics. No fame nor glory will ever make me do that. Wise and noble Tricky, we truly are aware of what a surprise this must have been. You know, to be given a task as important on such a perilous and wretched road. Perilous? This is the road to my house. Are you looking for trouble, monk? Great sage and his council decided that the great hero destined to fulfill his quest doesn't have a say in it. This is not a negotiation. Okay. The gauntlet has been thrown down. Yes, you don't stare at the screen like that. I'm talking to you. Theater is serious stuff here. Solving problems are talking to other people. You're foolish human, perhaps. This world, when we have an argument, we fight on the stage. But I see you can't understand. Let's move to practice. During your turn, you can select a single move to perform. Select a move following the beat. Okay. Choose one of the available moves. Punch, staff, or rage. Okay. Red and green dots under the skill tell you what you're going to interact with. Red dots are enemy positions. Green ones are yours. That wasn't quite clear what it means. This should be rewritten because I didn't understand what the hell the red and the green are supposed to be. But let's just go with it and figure it out. Sure. Listen to the beats and repeat them with the right timing. It's weird that you're supposed to press Z to move on, and then you're supposed to press A to do the things. Okay, S. Huh? Okay, so it's not on beats. It's It's that it would be easier if they would just show you the action instead of blah 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 and being confusing like hell. Do you want to try again? No, I think I got the hang of it. No, they are attacking me. Okay, that should be my turn again. Final move bar is filled with a certain amount. When it's full, your characters can unleash a devastating unique move. Pressing the F button. Okay. Let's... I didn't select them. You keep giving me things to read. Of course I can't select the move. What? Okay, so I try A and it tells me it's not the final move. I try the final move and it does nothing. So yeah, this isn't very intuitive. And now I got my ass kicked. I mean, for the first fight it should be one-on-one instead of just getting your ass kicked repeatedly. Now I hit D. Okay. Did I recover some health or... the effects were not shown. How... Did I do like a power-up? That wasn't intuitive at all. You have a lot of text. I don't want any of that text. Just let me try the damn moves. See if I can do them or not. And now I can't skip any of this, of course. Well, the game seems interesting, but there's some clear usability issues here. I mean, I like the concept of being a musical thing, but I can't skip the intro, and it's slow like hell. and then there's a lot of text, and you have to press Z to skip the text. And once you press Z to skip the text, then you have to use the other buttons on top to hit the text. So you keep having to change between the numbers or the buttons that you're supposed to press. But I'm gonna give it one more try. Yeah, I'm trying to find a special hotkey to skip this, but it doesn't seem to be one. Okay, I said no, damn it. Blah, blah, come on, come on, come on. Yes, yes, I've seen all this before. Skip it, skip it, skip it. Let's go on to the fighting. Come on. Yes, yes. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Can we go back to the fighting? Yes, it's not a negotiation. Okay, fight. Please don't give me the fucking tutorial again. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I do rage. This doesn't make any sense. I do rage, but then the rage does nothing. Maybe if I increase the rage, then the other things will be stronger. So maybe I should do like D, 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 and then staff, or something like that. When your character's faces on top become red, it means its time is running out and you will lose your turn. You only have 2 bars of time to select a move. When your character's faces on top become red, it means that time is running out and you will lose your turn. But they are never red. This is so... Yeah, stop giving me text, for fuck's sake. And now I get more tutorials. Oh my god, too much text, too little action. 3, 2, 1. I even missed more. No, I don't care. Don't care. Now I have to wait through all of them other guys attacking. And then when I'm finally my turn to attack, it will show up another text cutscene and break the flow all over again. Yes, fuck off. What? I pressed all the keys at the right time. Yeah, the concept seems nice, the graphics seems nice, but the usability is totally crap. It needs to be, you need to be able to skip all this stuff. The instructions are there, but they're not intuitive, so you don't understand what you're actually doing, and you can't practice because... Ah, now I managed to hit an A by some miraculous reason. Yeah. Well, I like the concept, but the execution is bad. I mean, I'm sure that when they were playtesting this, they already know how to do everything properly, so they didn't really felt that it was bad or unintuitive, but for a new player it totally is. Too much text, too little practice time, and having 3 guys to battle against. Like, I just hammer F is a lot better than trying to hit on sync. Yeah, this no. I like the idea, but the execution is bad. This is just a save file. So let's try. I guess you have to fight the monkey. Why do you even have this initial part? I mean, you could just go straight to the moves. You see them down there. You know when you're supposed to hit. Only 2? Yeah. It's very close to being a good game, but the usability really destroys it. This whole sequence, you should just get hit and move on with it instead of having to wait all of this. Now, I like the concept of the game, but those mechanics on the fighting stages, it's not working. At least for me, it's not working. Well, I managed to make it work a couple of times, but it's stressful, not enjoyable. There is too much text. It's not clear what you're supposed to do. You have to still guess it. You can't skip stuff. You need to be able to skip stuff. I mean, if you don't want to read it, you don't have to read it. And right now, when you die, you have to go through all of it again without being able to skip any of it. And then, after reading all of that text, which is just annoying and breaks the flow, you don't really get an understanding of what you're supposed to do, and you have to figure it out anyways. So why don't you just figure it out, you know? Just throw it into the game and have the key right there in front of you that you're supposed to hit. You see the timing on the bottom. You don't even need to do a repeat like it has. You could just do it the first time. You know, show the letter that you're supposed to hit, so you have it on your hand there, and then just follow and hit it on beat. And have the battles a lot faster instead of waiting around for stuff to happen. Like the animation of the enemies and that kind of stuff. You can just skip all that, just have the action happening, and that would be a lot better. Like all this is dead time. Just breaks the flow. And it makes no sense why you have those beat matching in the beginning. Why do you have those bars on top if you're supposed to just hit a key before the time expires? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I like the concept and the artwork, but I think the execution really failed. And that's gonna be it for this show, for this live stream. Thank you everyone for joining in. This is probably the last stream that I'm gonna do of IGMC entries. We're reaching the end of the voting phase as well. I think it's in 1 more week or 1 week and a half, something like that. So not much time. If you haven't voted, I recommend you to vote. Check out the games that are missing. I know I still miss quite a few. I only checked like maybe 30. So having into account that they are like 250, that's a very low number. So I hope you guys had more time to check out games than I did. Hope the feedback that I gave the game creators was useful. And that's it. See you guys next time. Bye bye. Take care.